So for the past 6 months, we have been witnessing one of the craziest rise and falls in the comedy podcast world, because at some point, Two Bears, One Cave was one of the biggest and arguably one of the funniest comedy podcasts out, and Tom and Bert Kreischer are still massively successful. However, when it comes to the show, to the podcast, not only has it been quickly falling off in terms of quality, but now for the past months, for the past 5 or so episodes, aside from the most recent one with Dave Attell, all of them have been getting completely crushed with dislikes and negative comments, which does make sense because the most recent episode was almost unwatchable. Not only was it boring, but the show now has fully transitioned into a full-on infomercial for the vodka drink, and they're not even trying to hide it anymore. The most recent episode, once again, was essentially a full-hour commercial for their new vodka drink, essentially trying it, saying how amazing it was, and talking about how they know Joe Rogan. And on top of that, Bert Kreischer was absolutely out of control. He was actually forcing the guests to drink more, and at some point even got upset or offended that they were not drinking enough or fast enough, which was pretty hard to watch. And once again, a lot of people felt the same way because that episode was absolutely destroyed with dislikes and negative comments.
But I think last time when you guys were on the show, we were talking about Dilaudid.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, we just did your show.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of drinking that week.
Yeah.
A lot.
Speaking of which, let's find that dog that pissed in my mouth last night and have a little bit of its hair.
Okay. Sure.
I could have a
You never know with Bert. It might be a true story.
Yeah, remember. Oh, because, yeah.
All right, let's really go viral. And I was told by a friend that I don't prepare for podcasts.
Friend of yours?
Yeah.
Friend who might have some podcasting experience?
And so let's find out. Last night was your first night meeting Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would like first impressions because Tom and I know him very well.
Yep.
And I use this analogy a lot. He's a little bit like a great white shark. Like when you see him and you're like, oh, that's Rogan. I think his thing mainly with me has always been my health.
Yeah.
Because it must be exhausting to look at me and go, you're like you're him and all you care about is longevity and health and go, you're just dying.
Yeah.
I've seen it with other people where you see it now. You can see it now when people are dying and you go, oh, that's not a good look. That's not what you want.
Dying's not.
Yeah.
But how happy were you last night to tell him that you had a good, clean bill of health?
That was great. You were like, I've been waiting to tell you this. I'm perfect.
And Joe really was. He was like, okay, all right. Like, God damn it.
He knows.
Doctors say so.
He knows that Bert's an anomaly, though.
Yeah.
He's always like, there's something about that
He
guy.
did say, he says it in a very genuine, he goes, and he really is better than he should be. I don't know how.
Cheers, boys.
gentlemen.
Congratulations to what sounds
Cheers.
like the most successful liquor drop of all time. Cheers, brother.
Okay.
Really, though, congratulations. This is awesome.
It is a fucking delicious vodka.
It's a good vodka.
It's a good vodka. No, what did you think of Rogan?
Now, Two Bears, One Cave had already been losing quality and falling off for the past 6 months or so, but ever since they released their big announcement episode, which was insultingly bad, and now it's their most disliked episode, ever since that happened, the show has been essentially on a free fall, especially with their own fan base, because in the past, you could argue that if you didn't like the show anymore, it was probably because you were bored or you were potentially just a hater. But now they're giving the fans nothing. I mean, the most recent episodes are almost unwatchable, and it shows that they don't really care about the show. And even though they have been getting a lot of negative feedback, it doesn't seem like Tom and Bert Kreischer will ever address it, and instead they're just pretending like nothing is going on. And now looking back, Tom Segura's 69-minute comedy special was definitely a sign for what was about to come, because if he was willing to do that to his own fan base, essentially charge $10 for what could have been a free YouTube video, while at the same time pitching it and selling it as if it was essentially an hour of television, I think that just showed that he really didn't care about the fans and what they thought about him, and instead just was looking at getting another dollar. And by the way, other people have already pointed this out, but the show has insane levels of advertisements. I mean, the entire podcast is a full 1 hour infomercial for their new drink. But on top of that, they have sponsors, and I'm pretty sure they also run YouTube ads, which is wild. And once again, it makes the show nearly unwatchable. If it wasn't for the most recent Dave Attell episode, which was pretty decent because of Dave Attell, I mean, for the past month and a half, if you didn't watch any of their episodes, you would not have missed anything at all.
We were talking about our balance, because even this trip was, you texted both of us.
Don't fucking pussy sip that. I know what you're doing. Dude, listen, you little when you he sipping. I've been there where you're like, oh, I'll have a drink. And then you go, but I'm not really drinking. When you're with the boys, you have a drink. Kevin.
You're right.
Cheers.
But I was saying,
I'm okay. I'm doing all right.
Well, you have work to do.
Okay.
I told him today on our show, I was like, I'm so grateful for you because when we got the text, I was very happy to be invited, but I was like, I don't know if we're just going to fly in for one night to party. And he was like, let's go. We're going. You know, like, these guys have been great to us. We're going. And I was like, yeah, we're doing it. And then when we get there, so he makes me go to do things. And then I'm getting people's numbers, and I'll be the one who follow up and text and have them come on the show and all that.
Now, it might not seem like a big deal, but ever since Bert Kreischer had that bachelor party meltdown at Mark Norman's bachelor party, it's pretty hard to ignore whenever he does something like that, something like watching somebody's drink from the corner of his eye just to make sure that he's actually drinking. I mean, that's pretty wild, especially when you have a bunch of cameras pointed at you. So if things like that are happening in front of cameras, I can only imagine how it is in private, which is, I think, what happened with the whole Joe List incident when they got into a huge argument. And also, after watching the most recent episode of Two Bears, One Cave, there is no doubt that Bert Kreischer does feel entitled to people's time, and if he feels like they need to do whatever he wants them to do because he is the more famous and more successful comedian, so they should just be thankful that he's even hanging out with them. And also the fact that Tom Segura is just sitting there miserable, not saying anything or making fun of Bert Kreischer for how insane he was acting, it's just pretty sad because it was essentially a tiny version of what happened to them in Vegas, where they crashed the Pat McAfee show and completely embarrassed themselves. I mean, at some point, Pat McAfee was interviewing an actual professional NFL athlete, and Bert Kreischer crashed the show and was even offended when he offered them vodka and they declined and gave this insane reaction.
You drinking, CJ?
No, sir, I don't drink.
Nope.
He's got an offensive rookie of the year to win, dude. Just won it. Okay, Bert, sorry about it. How are you guys doing?
Tom.
And what's even more shocking is that Two Bears, One Cave from the beginning, the entire premise was essentially Tom Segura witnessing Bert Kreischer's insane lifestyle and making fun of him and his drinking. But now that they are in business together, promoting alcohol, I wonder if Tom can even call out Bert Kreischer's drinking or bad habits anymore. You know, since the business is to sell more alcohol, I wonder if anything that Bert Kreischer does from now on will be considered as marketing or promoting the company instead of him just being completely out of control. By the way, if you made it this far, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps out so much, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Because once you've done it, it's like you made your mark. You guys will be remembered forever.
No.
But the amount of people who you can open that door for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That-
Like, we're not going to drink our drinks.
I'm drinking it.
We're not gonna drink
I
our
want to run
drinks.
this idea by you because we haven't really talked about this publicly yet, but I figured what better place than to talk to you guys about it. We got a new series that we're working on called Not Safe for Work, where we're having, hopefully every comic, but right now we're kind of focusing on the newer kind of who's next in New York. And it's like Tiny Desk music performances, but for comedy. Mm-hmm. So it's in the Barstool office, very like literally where our desks are, just kind of like they're not in
Doing
the studio,
stand-up?
doing like a 15-minute stand up, and it's that same sort of vibe as Tiny Desk. Where
The secret in the sauce isn't the actual musician playing; it's them playing in an intimate setting.
Right. Yeah.
So if you bring
Right.
bring in
well,
big
that's kind of what we're
comedians.
hoping to do. Is like it's not you're not in a club or a theater. It's like it's just it's kind of comedy in a weird spot that's not usually there.
Set up
We have
one
a
night.
lot of-
Set up one night and bring in bangers. Bring in.
Well, listen, we want to do that. By
Mark
the way,
Norman,
yeah.
Shane Gillis, Ari Shafir, Big J Okerson. But set up one night and only have them do one bit each. But it's and the audience picks the bit.
I mean, you can watch the most recent episode of Two Bears, One Cave and tell me if I'm wrong, but to me, there is no denying that the show has absolutely hit rock bottom. I mean, I used to think there was some hope because obviously Tom is or was a legit comedian, and Bert Kreischer is pretty funny, even though I don't like his stand-up comedy, but I thought he was good he is good on podcasts. I mean, I saw him recently on Shaq's podcast, and he was really good. So because of that, I thought there was hope. But now, after seeing the route that they're taking with the show, I honestly think that it's pretty hopeless. I mean, Bert Kreischer is once again out of control, which is nothing new. But Tom Segura has now fully transitioned into, you know, a businessman, a salesman, a marketer, and I don't know, but I don't see him as a comedian anymore. It's pretty weird. Even the marketing that he does, it's all just to make him look cool. It's weird. Now, I do think that in the future there will be some sort of breakup or fallout between Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura, because even though I do think the vodka, the whole product, it does look like a good product, and both of them are massive brands. They can actually promote it. Even if they do see some success or a lot of success with that business, because of the way that it started out of nowhere, it does seem like a last attempt at trying to monetize whatever they have left from the show, from Two Bears, One Cave. Obviously, they named it Poor Osos. It's, you know, a play on words on the show's name. But if you think about it, back then, Tom Segura would never want to be part of Bert Kreischer's ideas, you know, Fully Loaded at Sea and all those things. Even going as far as saying that he doesn't think they have the same audience, which is obviously not true. But now, out of nowhere, they never talked about going into an alcohol business together. Out of nowhere, they announced this product that they supposedly have been working on for a while, which I don't know if that's true, but the timing of it just seems a little bit sketchy. And it seems like if instead of them actually being passionate about the project, it did feel like if Tom Segura knew that the show was on a decline and wanted to monetize it for one last time. However, now that we saw some evidence, or at least what's evidence to me, that the show has officially hit rock bottom and that even their own fans are starting to turn on them, what's more interesting now to me is the fact that comedians like Luis J. Gomez and others are now starting to openly make fun of are now starting to openly make fun of Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer, who, I mean, are definitely turning into the next Brendan Schaub.
It wasn't like a lot of people, like, dude, like, nobody's happy for Bert or Andrew Schultz.
Hey,
I love them. I think they're great, but great. They're rich and successful. Cool. It's a different thing. Like, we legitimately are happy for it, and and everyone felt that it's a different thing.
Well, listen, this song's a little bit critical, I understand.
I haven't seen it.
Of the man who pays Dr. Drew's bills. And his wife's here.
No, I don't think Dr. Drew's
Nah,
on.
Dr. Drew's gone. He left him.
He left.
He's not in the
You know,
house.
your mom's house.
Yeah, I'm not there right now. No.
Damn,
Dr.
you're
Drew is
gonna love
out.
this
Dr. Drew's
thing.
gonna love this song.
I'm gonna say Dr. Drew.
I left on. I mean, I have nothing but peace and love.
Dude,
Doc-
you shit on a desk? You
Oh,
shit on Tom's
shit.
desk?
I did shit on his desk.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
on
not
his
a
chair, not on his
Dude,
Guys.
there's so many podcast networks, and there's so few that you can quit, and then I can go, oh, you moved out of your mom's house?
Yo, guys, saying without saying it, Dr. Drew wrote this song. Wow. Play it, y'all.
Now, about 8 months ago, we made a video talking about comedians that were turning on Bert Kreischer, and although it was a little bit silly, it was just them, you know, making fun of some things that Bert Kreischer had said. It was interesting seeing Luis J. Gomez making fun of Bert Kreischer, which no one was really doing. I mean, keep in mind that there was a time when nobody would ever make fun of Brendan Schaub because of how close he was to Joe Rogan. And back then, at the time, Luis J. Gomez was one of the first comedians that started making fun of him on YouTube and on his show. And then once everybody saw that it was safe to make fun of Brendan Schaub, they all started piling on. And so because of that, I thought it was interesting when they also started making fun of Bert Kreischer.
We talked about it last time, and then somebody took a video of you talking about it and literally made a video with arrows pointing that say these two hate each other, and it has like 700,000 views.
Did you see
It's huge.
There's another one that says Luis J. Gomez calls Bert Kreischer on his shit, and it's just me telling the story about how Bert mistakenly said he called me, I met him and called him Puerto Rican rattlesnake, and they were like, look, everyone knows that Bert's a lying piece of shit.
Yeah, everyone's f***ing me. We've hugged it out. We're talking. I blew
You guys are
him.
cool.
It's great.
But
Very
what-
cool.
But now you could talk about what happened, though.
Yeah, but you did. You were
heated.
You were
I was
very
mad that day in February of 2021, and then we hugged and
Here's what bothered me about the story is that Bert was like, I bought everybody $200 worth of Thai food. It's like, dude, $200 worth of Thai food, anybody can buy. What? That's not gonna brag.
Yeah, and that's not enough for Bobby to even
Look, Joe's getting mad again.
to appetize him. Comedians are turning on Bert Kreischer.
Yeah, that one. Look at that. Look at the views on that one. It has like 1 million views. No turn. We didn't turn.
There's no turn. We never liked him.
How does he have 1 million views and our episode didn't?
Look at that. They're using our shit.
345,000 views.
2 days ago.
This
Views in our shit.
This is comedy enforcement. Dude, they have 82,000 subscribers. It's a big comedy channel. We made it.
Looks like we made it.
2,064 comments. Can we read some of the comments?
Look how far we've got. Oh, I don't want to see the comments.
With Bart's insane inner monologue and propensity to lie, I can't wait to see how he handles people openly hating him like Brandon.
we shouldn't be promoting this. We should be promoting Matt McCusker's special on.
Matt McCusker. His special's he's on one of the regs. I got a new special coming out.
Well, you do?
Yeah,
I have one out right now.
Gas
December 5th.
Mine's out right now.
It's
August
the
18th.
Now, most recently on Legion of Skanks, even though they didn't directly trash Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura, they did play a song, a diss track that was absolutely insane. It was a great song. It was really good. It was a diss track about Tom and Bert Kreischer by YouTuber / fan of the show of Legion of Skanks, Crack Amico. I won't play it here, but I highly recommend you go watch it on his channel. You won't be disappointed. I promise you that. It's a great song. It hits on, it really brings up every single thing that people have been basically calling out Tom and Bert Kreischer out for. So I highly recommend you go watch it. That song needs to be at least at 500,000 views. Now, Too Lazy to Try did cover this a few weeks ago, and he did go over Bert Kreischer's reaction since they did call him on the show to tell him about the song. So I'm pretty sure Tom Segura has heard the song by now, or at least I would hope so. And also, I was looking more into Crack Amico since I do remember listening to a song he made a while back about Brendan Schaub, and it was good. But this Two Bears One Grave song is just insane. It's just crazy good. And now I'm definitely a fan. Also, I was watching him do a live stream, and he did mention that both Luis J. Gomez and Mike from Red Bar Radio helped him out a ton. So I thought it was pretty cool. I do remember Luis J. Gomez once again being pretty ruthless to Brendan Schaub for the past year and a half on his show, making a lot of jokes. However, they ended up squashing the beef at Skankfest in Las Vegas, which we actually went to last year and tried to make a video, but it was very hard and it didn't come out as well as I wanted it to. But I recommend you go watch it and let me know in the comments below if you want more content like that. It was fun to make, but it was extremely hard. But anyways, it was pretty cool seeing the fans and everybody, all the comics being, nice to Brendan Schaub while he was there. It was just, it was real life. It was pretty cool. But the point is that it was all for fun and jokes, and nothing got way too serious, and it was good. And something similar like that happened with Red Bar Radio, because we actually made a video about Red Bar way back in the day before we even had 1,000 subscribers. And it was a bad video, but we got a lot of good and bad feedback. And ever since then, I mean, it's been over a year now, and I gotta say, he did end up getting a lot of things right. He was right on a lot of things, and I did start looking more into Red Bar and all that stuff. And it turns out that he has been in the comedy scene, specifically in the Chicago comedy scene, going way back. And he was also one of the first ones in radio and audio shows, podcasting and all that stuff, way before Joe Rogan. So, I didn't know that. And I've said this before, but they do have one of the best looking studios out there.
Tom, sir, he's a fan of all
I
of
don't
us.
think he likes them, guys.
You're wrong.
I think he likes one of the...
You're reading the subtext here? No, I promise you,
Now that
he doesn't
Lewis,
like them.
Now that Lewis mentions it, kind of seems like he doesn't like them.
No. Stop it.
You think it comes from love?
Yes.
He's definitely a fan.
No.
He's definitely a fan.
Definitely a fan.
I mean, he knows him very well, that's
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
He's a fan. Stop it.
I
He's
promise
got
you
notes. He's got notes for him. He's got...
I know. I made Crack Amico. I know he's not a fan.
And by the way, when Lewis says that, he in a lab, he made.
I had a
I thought
contest.
making somebody means cat.
Hello.
Hey, Bert.
Hey. What the kind of shade am I getting from this Crack Amico?
Dude, it was uncomfortable. It's Drew, man. How are you? I know I'm here with the Skanks. It's ridiculous. But but it was hard to.
Oh, you guys are ass kissers.
Oh,
Wait, what was that?
It's a hilarious rap he made about you and Tom.
Yeah, he's obviously a fan of yours.
He's a fan. He is a fan.
It was called
I promise you, he's a fan.
Wait, it was called Two Bears, One Grave.
Has he not seen it?
No, he hasn't seen it.
Bert, so hold on, whoa,
Yeah.
1 second. Bert, we're gonna send it to you right now. Watch it and then call us right back.
All right, send it to me right now.
Okay.
Go right now.
Now, it is interesting how much Big J Okerson was dancing around the subject and trying to soften the blow, because the argument that Crack Amigo actually likes them and he's a huge fan is a little bit silly. I mean, that would be like saying that Tom Segura is actually a huge Garth Brooks fan and really likes him, which is not true. I mean, Tom Segura just likes making fun of him, and that's about it. However, to be fair, now we know that Bert Kreischer is actually a pretty sensitive comedian, and Big J is working with him on Fully Loaded. So last thing you want is to, be laughing at a song that is pretty ruthless to both Tom and Bert Kreischer, because, for some reason at the end of the day, not for some reason, we know why, but a diss track does cut a lot deeper, especially when it's that good, because again, listen to that song, but he basically nailed every single thing that people criticize or have said negatively about Tom and Bert Kreischer. It was just perfect, and there is no way for them to answer to something like that. I mean, in the past, they could do the dance battle and try to be funny and all that stuff, but how do you respond to a diss track? I mean, they're definitely not getting on the mic. And look, even though Bert Kreischer did offer for Crack Amigo to open his show with that song, I don't think that would ever happen, but I think it would be actually cool. I mean, that would be the comic thing to do, because on the other hand, this is pretty wild, but I was watching Kill Tony yesterday, and the most recent episode was pretty good. It was decent. Obviously, Jim Norton was carrying the entire show, but on that episode, at some point towards the end, Tony actually brought up someone that made a rap song about how great Kill Tony was, and I'm not kidding. I thought he was trolling, but it was legit just no hate to that guy, but it was just the most basic, positive, I love Kill Tony rap song. I mean, it was pretty embarrassing in my opinion for Tony, not for the guy making it, for Tony. Because he brought him up and had everyone, listening to that song. I think the comic thing to do would be to bring someone like Crack Amigo and, make fun of everyone. But yeah, it is definitely interesting seeing Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer getting the Brennan Schaub treatment, it's just wild. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Leave a like and subscribe to support the channel. Dislike if you didn't like the video, but that is all we have for today. See ya.